Pacifism. Believe that war and violence are unjustified. Pacifist. A person who opposes war or use of military force. Pack. A group of wolves. Pack. A set of 52 playing cards. Pediatrician. A doctor who treats children diseases. Palindrome. A word that reads the same backwards as forwards. Palliation. Make something less severe. Palpable. Thing that can be felt or touched. Panacea. A solution for all difficulties or diseases. Pandemic. Widespread occurrence of an infectious disease crossing international boundaries. Pandemonium. Wild and noisy disorder. Pander. Gratify an immoral or distasteful desire. Panic. Sudden uncontrollable fear or anxiety, often causing widely unthinking behavior. Panorama. Wide, uninterrupted view. Panth. Breathe hard and with difficulty. Pantheism. The belief that God is in everything, including nature. Pantheon. A temple dedicated to all the gods. Pantry. A small room in a big house, hotel, ship, etc., where glasses, dishes, spoons, food, etc., are kept. Parable. A story told to illustrate a moral or spiritual truth. Parasite. One who lives or survives on others or other lives. Parboil. A method of boiling briefly to cook food slightly. Parochial. Having a limited or narrow outlook or scope. Parole. Permission that is given to a prisoner to leave prison before the end of his sentence on condition that he behaves well. Parricide. The crime of killing your father, mother, or a close relative. Parvenu. One who has suddenly gained new wealth, power, or prestige. Patent. Sole right to make and sell some invention. Pathology. The scientific study of diseases. Patriarchy. A system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. Patricide. Murdering his own father. Patrilineal. Relationship between father and child that continues in a family with each generation. Patrimony. Property that is given to somebody when his father dies. Patriot. A person who loves, supports, and defends his country. Patrol. To go around an area to keep a watch. Pauper. One who has no money. Pecuniary. Concerning or consisting of money. Pedagogy. The method and practice of teaching. Pedant. A person who insists on adherence to formal rules or literally meaning. Pedantic, a style in which a writer makes display of his knowledge. Pedestrian, a person who walks on foot and not traveling in a vehicle. Pediatrics, branch of medicine concerned with children's and their illness. Penalty, a punishment imposed for breaking a law, rules or contract. Penchant, a special fondness or liking for. Pendant, a small ornament which hangs down, especially from a necklace. Peninsula, a large mass of land projecting into a body of water. Pensive, deep in thought. Perennial, something that happens often or that lasts for a long time. Perpetual, continuing for a long period of time without interruption. Perquisite, an incidental benefit awarded for certain types of employment. Persecute, subject someone to hostility and ill treatment, especially because of their race or political or religious beliefs. Perseverance, constant effort to achieve something. Personnel, a person employed in armed forces. Perusal, the action of examination with care or reading carefully. Pessimist, a person who always expects bad things to happen or something not to be successful. Pesticide, killing of pests. Pestiferous, that which is morally dangerous. Pestle, stick with a thick end used in mortar for pounding. Peter, decrease or fade gradually before coming to an end. PU, a long wooden seat with a back for people to sit on in a church. Philanderer, a person who always runs after women. Philanthropist, one who loves all mankind, someone who freely gives money and help to people who need it. Philanthropy, the love of man or mankind. Philatelist, a person who collects or studies stamps. Philately, the collection and study of postage stamps. Philistine, one who does not care for literature or art. Philology, the study of languages. Philosopher, one who loves wisdom and hence pursues it. Phobia, intense and unreasoned fear or dislike. Phonetics, the study and classification of sounds. Physician, a doctor who is a specialist in general medicine and not surgery. Physiology, a study of the human body. Physiotherapy, treatment by means of exercise and massage. Pile, a large number of things placed one on top of another. Pilferage, the act of stealing something in small quantities. Pillion, a seat for a passenger on a bicycle or motorbike. Pioneer, one who does something for the first time. Pirate, a person who attacks and robs ships at sea. Piscivorous, one who lives on fish. Placate, make someone less angry or hostile. Placid, not easily excited or upset. Plagiarize, take and use the thoughts, invention, etc. of another person as one's own. Plagiarism, stealing of ideas or writing of someone else. Plagiarist, one who copies from other writers. Plaintiff, person who files a suit. Plaque, flat metal or porcelain plate fixed on a wall as an ornament or memorial. Plausible, seeming reasonable. Plebiscite, a decision made by public voting. Pledge, a solemn promise or undertaking. Plentitude, the state of being full or complete. Pliable, capable of bending easily without breaking. Plumber, one who repairs leaking water pipes. Plutocracy, government by the richest people of a country. Podium, a speaker's platform. Poignant, evoking a keen sense of sadness or regret. Polemical, something that is pertaining to controversy. Politics, the science or art of political government. Polyandry, the custom of having more than one husband at the same time. Polygamist, a person having more than one wife at the same time. Polygamy, the custom of having more than one husband or wife at the same time. Polyglot, a person who knows and is able to use several languages. Polygon, a flat shape with at least three straight sides and three angles, and usually five or more. Polytheist, one who believes in a plurality of gods. Populous, full of people. Port, a place where ships load and unload goods. Portable, something that can be carried easily. Portfolio, a collection of drawings, documents, etc. that represent a person's, especially an artist's, work. Posthumous, occurring or coming into existence after a person's death. Posthumous child, a child born after the death of its father. Postmortem, a medical examination of a dead body. Postpone, delay an event to a later date or time. Postscript, a note appended to a letter after the signature. Potable, safe to drink, water. Potion, a liquid with healing, magical, or poisonous properties. Potpourri, a mixture of dried flowers and leaves used for making a room smell. Pragmatist, one who values practicality. Precedent, a previous case that might serve as an example or guide in subsequent situations. Precipice, a very steep or overhanging rock face or cliff on a mountain. Predator, an animal that lives by killing and eating other animals. Predecessor, something that precedes and indicates the approach of something or someone. Predicting, say or estimate that a specified thing will happen in the future or will be a consequence of something. Preface, an introduction to a book, especially one that explains the author's aims. Prejudiced, to be biased against. Prelude, an action or event that happens before another important one and forms an introduction to it. Premiere, the first public performance of a musical or theatrical work or the first showing of a film. Premonition, a strong feeling that something is about to happen, especially something unpleasant. Prepare, to get ready. Pretended attack, feint. Prevaricate, to make evasive or misleading statement. Pride, a group of loins. Privilege, right or advantage available to a person. Provisioner, a person working on a trial period. Procrastinate, put off for a future time. Procrastination, the art of delaying. Prodigy, a person, especially a young one, with exceptional abilities. Proficiency, a high degree of skill. Profile, general view of a person's character. Profligate, recklessly extravagant or wasteful in the use of resources. Proletariat, working class people regarded collectively. Proliferation, rapid increase in the number or amount of something. Prologue, an introduction to a literary work. Prolonged, continuing for a long time. Prop, a piece of wood, metal, etc., used for supporting something or keeping it in position. Prophet, a person sent by God to teach the people and give them message from God. Propulsion, the action of driving or pushing forwards. Proselyte, a person who has been converted to another religious or political belief. Protagonist, central character in a story or play. Protocol, a system of fixed rules and formal behavior used at official meetings. Prototype, the first design of something from which other forms are copied or developed. Provender, food for farm animals. Provincialism, concern for one's own area or region at the expense of national or supranational unity. Prowler, a person who moves stealthily about or loiters near a place with a view to committing a crime. Psophologist, one who studies election trends by means of opinion polls. Psephology, the study of how people vote in elections. Pseudonym, the fictitious name, especially one assumed by an author. Psychologist, a scientist trained in psychology. Psychology, the scientific study of the mind and how it influences behavior. Punctilious, careful in performing duties. Punter, a person who gambles, places a bet, or makes a risky investment. Pursue, to run after. Putrefy, decay of organic matter producing a fetid smell. Pyromania, an obsessive desire to set fire to things. Quack, sound made by ducks. Quadrangle, a court or open space usually rectangular and enclosed by a building. Quadruped, any creature with 4 feet. Quash, reject as invalid, especially by legal procedure. Quaver, a shake or tremble in a person's voice. Quest, search for something. Quill, a feather used as a pen. Quinquennial, an event which happens once in 5 years. Quite, to the utmost or most absolute extent or degree. Quixotic, a person preoccupied with an unrealistically optimistic approach to life.